This video is all about a better tube tool for Modo. So you're probably familiar with Modo's tube primitive. Let's just activate the tool in an empty mesh item in polygon mode. I'm just going to click in the viewport to create a few points to define the initial curve. Now, as you can see with the hauling properties, if you middle click, you can change the diameter. And if you right click and drag left or right, you can increase the number of segments. If you right click and drag up and down, you can also increase the number of sides. So that's all really useful until you drop the tool. So if I drop the tool, the problem we now have is that the underlying curve of this tube is no longer editable. You are committed to this shape. So wouldn't it be nice to have a more flexible tool that you can come back to and re-edit at a later date? Well, it just so happens that such a tool exists, but you may not be aware of it. And in fact, this tool exists in my Meshops kit for Modo, which comes with 11 procedural tools, including a tube tool that you can come back to and edit later. But it also has many other useful tools, including type extrude, curve extrude, a procedural spring, and a circle extrude tool. But this video is going to concentrate on the tube tool. So I'm going to return to Modo, and I'm just going to double click to select all these polygons, and I'm going to delete them. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to select the curve tool and I'm going to draw a curve in the viewport, and then I'll drop the tool. I'm going to rename this mesh to curve. Then I'm going to hit the N key to create a new empty mesh item, and I'm going to open the Meshops panel. I'll click on Add Operator, and in the Add Mesh Operation pop-up, I'm going to select RY Meshops, which contain my procedural tools, and I'm going to double click on the tube tool to add it into the stack. With that done, I can dismiss the popover. I'm going to expand the mesh operation, expand the curve, click on Add Curve, and in the existing section, I'm going to locate the curve I've just created and just double click to set that as the source curve for my mesh op. And that creates a tube that conforms to the shape of my curve. Now, if I switch back into item mode and select the radius, for example, with my cursor over the viewport, I can hit the C key to activate the channel hole tool, and then I can interactively change the diameter of this curve. I can do the same if I want to, say, expand the number of steps. Let's just select the steps here in the properties, and with the channel hole, I can increase or decrease the number of steps, or do the same with the sides. And once I'm done, I'll hit Q to drop the channel hole tool. I can also round off the edges with the Shift and Inset options. But what's really useful about this tool is that the underlying curve is editable. So if I reselect the curve mesh in the item list, go back into polygon mode, and I'll also just set the background meshes to wireframe. If I was to click on the original curve, I can edit the points to my heart's content. I can even add additional points if I want by coming down to the tool properties, selecting add, and then I can add a point after the highlighted point. So I can add one here, for example. Let's just move it. Let's select the point at the end and add an additional point here, and just keep editing as much as I want. And once I'm done, I'll just drop the tool. And this tool is a massive time saver if you do a lot of modeling, because it's just so much more flexible than the native tube tool in Modo. So if you'd like to know more about this tool and all the other tools that are available in the Meshops kit, please follow the link in the description, where you'll find more information, including a video that will walk you through all of the options available.